if you're watching this video, you just finished importing your list. Okay, congratulations. You're now one step away from getting everything going and making your campaign, right? So here's a list that I just imported. It's the Joey list. It's just a list with my phone number. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on campaign because now we're ready to set that up. Okay, so I have a few campaigns on here already, and I'm just going to set up a new one because I'm going to act as if I never made a campaign yet. Okay, so depending on what you want to say or who you're targeting your list to, let's say the list that I imported was to every current member that I currently have. Now, I want to send them all a message. Let's say I have an event coming up this weekend. I want to make sure everybody knows about it. And, I just want to hit them with a picture and a nice little message just so they can get reminded, because I know a lot of the times when we have something going on, there's really no way to reach out to everybody. Sometimes we do it through Facebook or sometimes we do it at the gym, but we know that's never going to be a way for everybody to see the message. So we know sending a personalized text is always going to be the best way, and you're usually going to get the best turnout for an event if everyone knows about it and they feel like they're personally being asked. Okay, so I'm just going to say we have a beach event this weekend. Okay, so here's our beach event. I'm going to create that campaign. Boom, here it is. It assigned me a number already. There's the number that they're going to be getting texted from. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. I'm going to click on list and Joey list. Okay, so this was the list that I uploaded. It says one remaining, meaning there's one client in there. And obviously I only uploaded myself. Let's say I have 200 members. It should say 200 remaining as long as everybody's phone number was in that list. Okay, so I'm going to click on it and save. Here's my message. Okay, I'm just going to go very brief and put a message. Now, the reason why we wanted to upload their first name as well, because I'm going to use this token, list first name. Now, what happens when I use this is now when it sends the message out, it's going to send their name. Okay, so if you have 200 people on the list, everybody obviously has a different name, and it's going to say, hey Maria, hey Joey, hey Phil, hey Mike, and then it's going to go ahead and say your message. So, just reminding you about the beach event this weekend. Hope to see you there. Okay, now we can obviously put whatever we want. We can make the message a little bit longer if we'd like. If I want to space it out and just make it look a little bit cleaner, for instance, like if you were to ever send out a message that has multiple paragraphs rather than just one big block, it's going to look cleaner. So in order to do that, if I wanted to, let's say, hit the enter key, the macro I'm going to use is new line. Okay, with the brackets, can't type, with the brackets around it. Now I want to make a new paragraph, so I'm going to use new line twice because it's going to act as if I hit the enter button twice. So please feel free to bring any friends or family. Okay, so I'm also going to put a %P1 at the end. I'm going to explain that in just a second. That's another macro. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. Now, we'll start off with the %P1 and why I added that in there. So every text message that you send out is always going to look a lot more attractive when it's not just words, when there's a picture attached to the words. And the very powerful thing about FlexText and what it offers is the ability to send pictures. Now, with every campaign, I could send up to 10 pictures, right? So %P1 is the token. I'm just going to pretend that this is a beach picture, okay? Kind of looks like it anyway. That one looks a little bit better. But I'm already going to have, if I were to make this campaign, I would have a picture of maybe an old beach event or, just maybe a picture of a beach, something that just looks attractive. So when they see the text, it comes with that picture as well. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. So now the message is going to send that picture, okay? And remember, you can get creative. The more creative you are, the more feedback you're going to get, the more responses you're going to get. Speaking of responses, this is when AI triggers is going to come in handy. Now, let's say I have 300 members and it's going to send this message to 300 people. Now, do I want to answer each one of them individually? Yes, I'd like to because I want it to be personalized, but also if 300 people, end up responding back, and some people ask, what time is it? What's the address? Am I allowed to bring somebody, or do I need to bring food? Anything of that nature. I don't want to just manually go and talk back to everyone. Now, so what do I do in that scenario? Okay, so if somebody were to ask what time is the event, okay, I'm just going to put the macro for if they ask what time it is, and now I can put my answer here. Our beach event starts at 9 a.m. Please try to arrive early if possible. Okay, so now anybody asks what time the event is, it's going to send them back a reply with that message. Now, if they ask for the address to the event is 954 Seabreeze Avenue. So really anything they say, I can't make it. No worries. Promise you'll come to the next event. Smiley face. Remember, you can be as creative as you want. You can send as many responses as you'd like. This is just going to make your life a lot easier and save a lot of time. Okay, so now if anybody says any of these three things, it's going to automatically reply to them. Okay, so URLs, this is just a way to shorten the URLs just to make everything look cleaner. You can also track the clicks to any URL that you send. I actually have another video that's going to go more over these URL links and being able to track the clicks. This is a really, really, really strong feature that we have as well. But for now, we don't need that. SMS signature, okay? So if you have an iPhone, if you ever got a message from an unknown number, sometimes it'll suggest who it is on top. So it'll say maybe Joey or maybe Mike. Okay, so if we put a signature at the end, obviously my name is Joey, Joey who can't type. So I'm just going to save that. And now it's going to say Joey at the end. So when it does pop up on their phone, it's going to say maybe this message is from Joey. So they already know that it's from me. Okay. So if somebody were to call the number that you texted them, it's going to have a voicemail. Okay. I'm going to go more in depth on how to change these voicemails to say certain things. Okay. It's also going to show you that it did call you, or that they did call you, so you can always check that. And we also have hang up messages. So I know if somebody calls that number, they're trying to get a hold of me, and they're not going to be able to reach me by calling me on that number, and that's okay. So when they do that, once they hang up, it'll send them this message, whatever I'd like to type. Hey, please call me on my direct line, and I'm just going to put my direct phone number in there, okay? And I'm going to hit save. So now if anybody does call that number, they're going to receive that message. So they'll know, oh, okay, let me call his personal cell phone. That way, now if somebody sends you a picture back, sometimes if they were to send you a GIF or something, it's going to reply back with a picture, or it's going to reply back with a message to their picture. So I'd recommend only using this if you know that they're going to send you a specific picture. Maybe if my campaign was, hey, can you please send me your before and after photo? And now once they do, like it says in the example, wow, great progress. So it's automatically going to send them a message. For this, you're really not going to need to worry about it for this specific campaign, so I'm just not going to put anything in there. We did the list already. We did the schedule. In fact, we didn't do the schedule. So now I don't want to respond to anybody if it's not in that 9 to 5 time, only because we know we like to keep people's off hours and home hours, to themselves. And obviously we don't want to text anybody at midnight or 2 in the morning. Now, we do have the ability to do that. So if they were to send us a message, let's say at 2 a.m., somebody didn't respond to me until 2 a.m. and they asked, what time is the event? It's going to respond to them at 2:01 a.m., just a few seconds after, and give them the answer. If we don't want it to do that, if we wanted to wait until 9 a.m., we can go ahead and do that. So it's up to you. It's limitless. You can choose that it won't even send out any messages on the weekend, but it's really up to you and what you want to do. I would suggest always keeping everything open, only because it's only going to respond to them if they send a message. So if they're not sending a message at 1 a.m., it's not going to text them anyway. But we'll leave all that good stuff for you. And here are the general settings. If I want to rename the event or the campaign, I can rename it here. And if I want to delete this campaign, I can delete it as well. So I have everything set and ready. And once you get comfortable using this, it's only going to take a few minutes every time to make a campaign. Really what it just comes down to is figuring out what you want to say, what you want the AI triggers to say, or even if you want any AI triggers, and basically what picture you want to put in. Another very cool thing, just before we head off here, just so you know, if someone were to say, let's say something like, trying to think, so for a beach event, what should I bring? Okay, so if somebody asks what to bring, let's say I want to respond to them with a picture. I would go %P2, and now it's going to send them whatever picture I have on my %P2. Obviously, I have nothing here at the moment, so it's not going to send them anything, but let's say I wanted to browse and I wanted to search for a picture of like a ton of beer, because I know there's going to be some alcohol at the event, and it's always better when people bring beer. So if someone says, what can I bring? And I choose a picture of beer, it's going to reply back a picture with a ton of beer on it. So it's going to definitely generate some laughs, and people will think it's funny that you already have an answer to them. Okay, so that is how you're going to set up your campaign and all that good stuff. Now if I go back here to all my campaigns, if you notice it's shut off. All I want to do if I want to send this message out, I'm going to click here, and it is going to start sending the message to every single person that's on the list. Obviously, I'm the only person on the list, so I'm going to go ahead and activate it only because I know it's just going to be sending to me. Okay. Now, before you activate any campaign, I always recommend this button right here. It's very powerful. It's going to be a send test button. So I always want to test a campaign out before I do it. So I put my number in here. It's going to send me a message testing it out so I can see what it actually looks like. Make sure everything's spelled correctly, everything looks correctly, or looks correct, and all that good stuff. Okay, so I'm not going to send. I'm just going to hit close, but I always recommend doing that to yourself. That way, everyone's getting hit with a beautiful looking message. Okay, and that is how you set up and send your campaign. See you in the next video.